Hi, and welcome back to Pharaoh, a new era. What I'm going to do today is play in the city of He. I just want to finish up some of the missions that I skipped in the campaign. Mainly it's the military missions that I've been skipping just because I thought I would hold off on them until they did the military revamp, but it's taken too long and I want to get everything cleaned up before I go into Valley of the Kings and play the Cleopatra mission. So we're going to do He. I pre-scouted it. It's no laughing matter. Huh? We're going to make He while the sun shines there. All the puns are out of the way. So it is a large landscape. We need 6,000 people. We need a pretty high culture rating. We're building a mausoleum. So it's basically a fairly demanding city. You can't just get away with doing junk housing and rough cottages and expect to win this mission. So I pre-scouted it. I have a couple ideas how I want to do the early game. But first we'll take a look at the mission.
Most respected Pharaoh, all that your family has fought so hard for is threatened. The Nubian navy is patrolling the Nile, striking deep into the heart of Egyptian territory, ransacking villages and cities alike. The Nubians are also boarding trade ships, pirating away goods. To help your northern cities beat back the foe, you should be prepared to send warships and soldiers to the cities that need them. To prevent the Nubians from again sailing our waters, your military advisors recommend building a cluster of forts at He, between the second and third cataracts of the Nile. The forts will act as a cork, penning the Nubians in to the south. Successfully driving out the Nubians altogether rests with conquering the city of Baki. Baki is rich in resources, and taking it over will cripple the Nubian economy. Once you have wrested control of Baki away from the Nubians, you can begin importing sandstone from the city for your great mausoleum. Your mausoleum at He will serve as a reminder of your dominance over the unruly Nubians. There are many challenges before you as you protect Egypt from the Nubians. Pay heed, O living Horus, to the storm rising in the east. The thundering of horses' hooves are heard throughout Canaan, and lightning-quick chariots are laying waste to all in their path. These formidable chariots, the likes of which have never been seen anywhere, are driven by the Hyksos warriors. Already, storm clouds have been spotted on the Egyptian horizon, and you should steel yourself against the impending danger.
Okay, so we'll open up the mission. We'll go on pause. Got a little bit of meadow here, a little bit of farmland. I believe we can do chickpeas and figs, or pomegranates, sorry. So we might want to take advantage of the meadow. There's 2 spots for it. And we'll put pomegranates on meadow if we can. Chickpea everywhere else. Other than that, there isn't a lot in terms of feeding. We know we got 2 foods that we can do ourselves, so we'll be able to take up some housing. So then we've got gold mines, and like I said earlier, I have an idea where I want to place them and do the early game. I know there's an early call for some military that you have no hope of getting anything up in time in order to make a difference. So we're going to do a little finagling there, I hope. More on that later. We can do gemstones and jewelry. I don't know if we're going to do that. We can brew our own beer. So that's pretty much it. We're going to be reliant on trade to do pottery and linen and papyrus. And then military. We'll do gods first. Seth is not our major god. We'll want to keep him happy though. We'll want to do some festivals to him, just to get the combat blessings. Osiris is our temple complex god. we're gonna hold off on doing the temple complex for a while. There's no benefit to it. We'll get to it when we start to worry about getting our housing up. We're gonna do that 2 blocks to either side of the temple complex setup. We can do archers with bows. We can do infantry without shields and transport and warships, of course. Towers and walls and everything like that are useless at the moment. But so we're not going to do any of those, not even for decoration. Entertainment, we can do a Senate house, which is good because we'll want to maybe get some manor housing. I don't think we're going to use 6,000 population for anything other than manor housing eventually, so we'll want to be able to convert. That's why we're going to do that temple complex thing. So we're going to do gold mines up here. We're going to try to optimize this to get as short a walk as possible for our gold mines. And then I think we're going to just maybe do 2 blocks over here, and then we're going to do 2 blocks over here with the temple complex. And we're going to do 2 foods over here, a little bit of chickpeas to supplement, and mainly pomegranates. And over here we'll probably just do 1 food and just take them up to common residences. Okie doke. And I think we'll have these 2 disconnected. I don't see any reason to do anything. We'll end up with a dock here and a dock there. Well, I guess if we're going to take these guys up, we're going to have to connect them because we're going to be bringing pottery and beer across the river, because we're going to want both sides to have pottery and beer. This side, I don't really care if they get linen or not. Maybe mortuaries for the 2 blocks, depending on how our culture rating is doing. But let's get up to the gold mines and talk about what I was thinking up here. So that is one of our farthest flung gold mines. And this is our other farthest flung gold mine. So what we want to do is, I guess our other farthest flung gold mine is going to be up here. But it's not going to be as farthest flung as these 2. So these 2 are the ones we want to focus on. So I want to make sure that before we head south to the temple complex, that these guys have as short a walk as possible to the straight line. I don't want this guy having a super long walk and this guy having a short walk and vice versa. So we're just going to count out here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So let's just count out to here and see if I like it. This seems like probably a really weird thing to do early game, but our whole economy is going to be based on these gold mines, so I want to minimize the rest period between when the walker leaves and when he gets back, because I don't want these 2 mines here, which are the farthest flung from the temple complex, or from the city palace. I don't want them sitting idle at 100% any longer than they have to, or if all, hopefully. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is 12 to the intersection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to the intersection. So this is the spot. This is kind of the magic spot for balancing out these two. They'll both, their walkers will both hit here at the same time. So this is where we want to head south towards the city palace. So that is our economy. So this is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So it's a 31 walk from our farthest gold mines to the palace. There's a chance that they might make it back up in time. We'll check that later. Hopefully these aren't sitting idle. These ones that are closer to the city palace, they'll probably be able to make the trip. But at least our two outliers will make it there. So we don't want anything touching this. So our New Kingdom Road is this. And usually I'm a little more careful about spending money on deleting things, but we should be able to ramp up an economy pretty fast. And I'm thinking, just because I'm always trying to think artistic on these missions as much as I can, I'll put a festival place there. So this is going to be our entrance to our first housing block. We've got to get housing up to here in order to supply a place for the employment walkers to get employees from. So our goal for our first housing block is just to reach up there and avoid these areas here. And we'll fit whatever we can fit into, we're just going to leave a space around everything, just for art. So if this would be a garden, a house, and our road. So here's the outer limit of our housing block. We're going to just modify a senator block here. It's going to probably look really weird, but that's not too long of a walk. Definitely we're going to be putting houses in weird places here. This is our initial employment for our gold mines. And we're going to run out of money really fast. When I pre-scouted the mission, you can't put down all your gold mines. There's no reserve fund here. We probably already put down too many gold mines. Okay, so if I put a pavilion here, we're screwed. So I'm gonna not give these guys dancers. I'm gonna put down and that'll give us room here later to do a bandstand and a booth. And we'll catch up on culture somewhere else. I just don't want this over here. I want this for housing. Like I want to put a nice feeder house here for whatever we do down here. But we definitely want this here first. So this is going to be where people come in first, and that's going to supply our gold mines. We want this thing employed really fast, so he's going to come out here, and he'll pick up that pretty fast. And we're lucky that we don't have to supply this guy fire or architect, because well, these architects might make it down here, but we won't count on it, especially with the Walker confusion area right here. But this road here will give protection because it's 2 tiles away. So every time the block architect and block firehouse Walker go past here, we'll preserve our palace. So our gold mines and our palace complex are disconnected from the city. It's a little self-contained little economy engine. So I think we want to get our housing down and our water, and that's going to be all they're going to get for a while. We're going to have to make the gods happy, of course. Temples are cheaper than shrines, so we might just do, looks like we got a lot of room, so we'll throw temples down for everybody. So if we move 1 back for the bandstand and 3 back for the might have screwed up our little garden plan here. We'll find places for I'm gonna move it here because we're busy talking about architects and fire, so that might be the place for them. I was just looking at where this first temple went down, and we're going to be blocking off something here, so this would be a nice spot to go. Okay, so bandstand. So if we go flat view, I can stick fire and architect here and here without interrupting our garden plan. Okay. Oh, okay. This might be a good spot. We've got room across the top, and the entrance, the exit is off, but they'll never go to that spot because these are disconnected, so these guys will stay in the loop. And it'll afford some aesthetic protection for our housing that we're probably going to dump a lot of housing right in here. Okay. Speaking of housing, I think that's... Well, let's do a couple more things here. We've got to put down crime protection. Eventually this will be a courthouse, but we need a police station. And then we need a physician and a tax collector. And since we've got the city palace now, we might as well start offsetting our wages right off the bat. Even though it's a paltry sum, that's 98 Devons. The return on investment, it'll be worth it. The sooner we have to spend it sometime, so the sooner we're collecting taxes, the quicker that'll be paid off, and it benefits us in the long run. So we might as well get that down too. So the plan now is to lay down our initial housing, get our gold mines up as we can afford them. Those might be the only two we can afford for the first little while. This house is sitting... Oh, jeez. I'm wasting Devons, but let's get this right. So if this is Festival Square, then there's our garden buffer. So here's our house that's gonna pick up here. So there's our housing along here. There's our housing internal. We're gonna stop now. I'll eventually be able to put houses down here, but I don't know how many we're gonna need. We do want these to not fall down. So this will work for now. So we got some growly puppies down here. I don't know what they're growling at, but you're gonna get some cute little Havanese puppy noises in the background here. They're nice dogs, but they like to vocalize. They'll bark at anything all day long. So let's fire this initial plan up. I think we're okay. The gods are going to be happy. No one's going to get sick. Nothing's going to burn down or fall down. They're going to get water, so they're going to get their second level of housing really fast. In fact, I think that'll be priority number 1. So we're going to do the little hygiene trick here. So the first people that come here are going to employ the physician and the water carrier. As soon as I see the water carrier walker leave, then I'm going to switch it to production buildings, just to make sure that the gold mines get full population. Okay. So the plan is to, as we can afford 325 for a gold mine, we're going to place it down, and then we're going to start thinking about military. There's our water carrier. So we're going to go and bump that back down and put up production buildings. There's our water carrier doing his job. I'm gonna have to look at these all game, which kind of bothers me, but I'll just put up with it. Okay, so we've got a gold miner, second gold miner, I guess. So we can, I'm gonna slow it back down. And we're gonna get another gold mine up, and we're just gonna fill in these ones as we can, and then we'll start to go up the branches here. Oh, I should be, let's see if the walker gets back. He's at 54. Here comes the cart. 78, 84, 90. So he's not quite gonna 100, and then he hits the door. So that's not a lot of downtime on this mine. So actually we're gonna be using these pretty efficiently. We're gonna be able to get the most out of our mines with this setup. So now we can afford another one. Just don't want to be paying interest. %29 unemployment. We got 4 gold mines going, so we should be ramping up. The more we get, the faster we're going to be able to get more. So there's the 5th one. Be interesting to see if this one is similar. 96, 100, boom, he hits. So they both, on both sides, it looks like we balanced the walkout pretty okay. Must have paid taxes or something there while I wasn't looking. I thought I had enough. I think we're just about done setting up okay, we need workers. So we're gonna lay down some housing here on the side. Let's just see how many we managed to get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is now a little confusing for one architect. So I think we're gonna put down a second architect. So this house is important to us because we're going to be setting up military and docks. My military here. We'll figure it out. I know I'm going to be bringing in wood and copper. So, modified Senator block here. I'm off the entrance for the bazaars and stuff just because of where this is sitting. So if that's, might as well make some money while we're talking. Bazaar, scribal school, potential mortuary. I'll put a house here, maybe if could just put one there. Okay, so there's our initial housing. Gotta start thinking about feeding them, but I think I'm gonna be starting up our military first. So if we're gonna, the first time they call for troops, it's waterborne. So we're gonna need to get wood into town to build a transport because we're gonna be wanting to not miss the battle. We have no hope of swinging it either direction with the amount of troops we're gonna be able to get going. They call for things pretty fast. If we were crazy, we could just import bows and wood for transport, but I still don't think we're gonna make it in time, so we're not gonna worry about that. These guys aren't buying anything we're selling. They would buy jewelry if we wanted to open up a jewelry industry. I'll take a look to see if I want to do that later. But right now we just want wood for some transports. If I was going to set up a jewelry industry, I could probably get some mines here on the back side. So that's potential. I don't think I'm going to be using these rocks for anything. I could potentially stick a gemstone mine here, but I don't think I can really make efficient use out of here. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to take a look at how many gemstone mines I can get in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with a bad entrance. So we don't want that one. So 6. 6 gemstone mines and selling jewelry might be worth it. I don't think we'd have enough to have any surplus for gems, but we have the potential to get 6 gemstones going and the requisite number of jewelry, and that might be definitely worth it. That's the only places where we have stone, is it not? We could start a little jewelry industry over on the estate side, but we might just make some jewelry here and use it for ourselves to do our manners. Okay, so we've got kind of the economic plan going. Now we want military. So if I'm going to get these docks going, we've got to catch this housing. So this is the 1, 2. So somebody stepping on this patch of road is going to catch employment. I don't know. I'm just going to roadblock it here. This person will get employment if they step on this patch of road. 1, 2. They'll get it from here too, I guess. They would catch it from here too. Okay, well, let's think. We're gonna have a dock and a shipwright down here. So that's 5. So that gives us room for 3s and 2s. So that would be 3 storage yards. So if we pull back up here, oh, that's going to work out because we've got 10. So we can put 5 things here and 3 storage yards down here on the bottom. Okay, so here's our little dock plan, shipwright plan. Let's measure our length. Do we want a warship or do we want... Okay, so dock we don't really need at the moment. Shipwright we do want. Okay, warship wharf. Actually, we've got two spots there, so that might be our transport wharfs. There's no ferry can go across there. Let's just check. Oh, we could put a ferry. So here's our transport wharf. And then if we wanted to do a connected ferry down the road, it's connected. Or if we wanted to do a transport wharf down the road, it's connected. I might do the ferry down here though, just so when people... No, if we're bringing goods across the river, we want to think more about just people. So if we go here, that's not a super long trip. That leaves us room for a dock if we want a dock over here. We might not. If we're bringing stuff across the river, we might just go with one dock. But we do have potential here to do dock and ferry. So this might be a decent ferry spot. It'll allow us to bring pottery and beer across pretty efficiently. Because I don't want two docks accepting beer. So I sort of like where this is going. Now wood comes from land, so we don't necessarily need our wood storage yard close to sorry, too much thinking, not enough playing. But early game plans are always, the more planning you do at the beginning, the better it pays off. So if we wanted to do actually, that might be a good spot for that's not a bad spot for the academy. That's not a bad spot for the recruiter. Still leaves room to connect the ferry. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that might be. So we definitely, I think copper comes by water. We might want that jewelry business open when we open Biblos. let's think about this. We've got room for a storage yard here. If this was our copper wood storage yard here, we could do 16 bows in there, and when it fills up we could equip our archer companies. And that would leave us room for 2 weaponsmiths and 3 bowyers or 2 bowyers. So that's not bad, depending on what mix we want to do. Okay. So there's room for a shrine here, room for a shrine here, or maybe a nice little statue just for art down the road. But this is gonna work. Okay, so this storage yard, we're gonna accept half bows. We're gonna accept a quarter wood. We don't need a lot of wood right off the bat here. And accept a quarter copper. So what we might do next, because I don't think I want more than 2 archer forts, which means I want copper in fairly soon. If we want to send 2 companies out down the road, we're going to have to plan where our next transport wharf is. Maybe we'll just do this as a transport wharf until we're set up here. Then we can change it into a ferry. Okay, well, that's something to worry about in the future. Okay. I just want 200. Because I want to be able to start setting up the jewelry industry. Because I want copper as soon as possible. Gemstone mines are bloody expensive, aren't they? 520, they're worse than gold mines. So that's 3,000 Debon we want to spend on gemstone mines. So let's see how we're doing for coin while we set up our first archer forts. "21 workers required," because these guys aren't, well, they are asking for employment now. Let's make sure we have enough employment for I'm gonna go on normal speed. We'll get our first forts up and then we'll call it a session. This to tank the housing here, or I think we're going to be putting housing down here to get some of the shoreline covered. Let's at least leave room for statues and a buffer. Oops. That's not bad. That'll let us get all 6 forts down. Okay. What did I do again? I can't remember. Statue, statue, statue. Space. Yeah, that was where we had them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so we definitely are okay there. Okay, so oh, jeepers, I know what's going on. He's probably heading off into weird places to look for employment. Okay, so he's got, see, we couldn't have got down this fort any quicker, and 8 months from now he wants troops. So there's just no way we're going to do it. So I'm going to do the dirtiest thing that you can imagine. And this was my plan. So the first archer is going up to this fort right here. One lonely archer at this fort. Now the recruiter's going to fill up this. We're going to send Bob to the war by himself. And he's going to get killed. But we're only going to lose 1 archer. And we won't lose kingdom rating because we sent a troop. Oh, we're sending 2. I should have put it down just a little bit quicker. If I would have timed that better, we'd be just sending Bob. Now we're sending Bob and Doug. This guy better go here. Okay, good. So in 6 months, we're going to send Bob and Doug, who nobody likes, to the war. They're going to get smeared. But we're only going to lose 2 archers. And we won't lose kingdom rating for not sending troops. And in the meanwhile, we can start worrying about opening up Byblos and getting some copper in and getting some infantry forts down. And then we'll set up another block and start working on our supplementary income here. And hopefully that's gonna set us up for success later on. We've got a pretty good economy going, got 13 gold mines, and they're running pretty efficiently. Should actually see if this cart walker, this is our last far-flung one. he's at 100% for like 2 seconds. So I wonder, I didn't ever check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He hits the intersection at 12 too. That's why he timed out exactly the same as these guys did. So I guess this is our next farthest flung one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, because he's the same distance away as this guy here. So our 4 least efficient gold mines are only idle for like a second or 2 before they're sending the next cart pusher out. So we've basically maximized our potential here for the gold mine industry. So that's one of the things I wanted to do this mission. The other one is I wanted to set up this little for the kingdom, take one for the team fort. Ended up with one more archer than I wanted. I really don't like Bob, so I didn't mind sending him off to on a suicide mission. I'm a little sadder about Doug because Doug's a little bit of a nicer guy than Bob, and now he's also doing the kamikaze. But I think that was the only good way to do this without bankrupting myself. So we're gonna stop, and I'll see you for session number 2, and we'll see if we can build an army that's gonna be useful and actually survive. Okay, thank you.